and welcome to Trojan Sports Now. I'm Sarah Drake.
And I'm Justin Walker. Stick around as we bring you the latest news and scores from Trojan Athletics.
The Trojans are 2 days away from their 2017 season opener against Boise State. But before the team takes the field in Idaho, there's still some fine-tuning that needs to be done. The Trojans hit the field for the first scrimmage of fall camp 2 weeks ago. The Trojan football team completed its first scrimmage of fall camp on Saturday, and head coach Neil Brown called it moving day for the players.
When I talk about moving day, it's about those guys that may not necessarily proven themselves on offense and defense in a real game setting yet. That's what it's about. Today was really about seeing where some of these guys are that need to step up.
Brown also talked about how quarterbacks Caleb Barker and Sawyer Smith had a chance to improve in spring camp after Brandon Silvers injured his finger.
Caleb Barker and Sawyer Smith got every rep. Caleb really transitioned, all right, and really grew. And then Sawyer is one of our most improved players this fall. In fall camp, he's been one of our most improved players.
During the scrimmage, there were many players in non-contact jerseys, and Brown explained the reason why.
We've got a couple guys coming off knee injuries in the spring. We're going to leave them out of contact work until we get into the fall. Everybody that you see out there in a yellow jersey, with the exception of maybe one, is going to be ready and available to play in the game against Boise. But cautionary, a lot of the older guys, we just voluntarily shut them down for these scrimmages.
And Brown is expecting a big turnout from Troy students to the team's Friday scrimmage.
We're going to have a student appreciation scrimmage on Friday. We're expecting a big student turnout. I think we'll have a really good crowd. We had about 500 students in the spring. I think we'll have upwards of that number this time. Hopefully we can take that crowd and transition them right into our first home soccer game with our new coach there.
The Jed O'Connor era of Trojan soccer kicked off on Friday the 18th under the lights of the Trojan Soccer Complex in a matchup that saw Troy on the losing end of a close game. Seth Carpenter has all the action.
This game was set up to be a good defensive game because of the double overtime draw these two teams had last year, and it didn't let down. Troy certainly had his chances throughout the game to score, but just couldn't convert. The game was held scoreless up until the 84th minute, where Mercer finally broke through on the Trojan defense to take a 1-0 lead. From there, Mercer would hold on to the lead and take the win against Troy. I got the chance to talk to team captain Nicole Strahl after the game about what went wrong on that play.
We got caught a little deep, and we kept that forward on side, so she got in behind us, and she found the back of the net. So it's just something that we got to work on and move on from.
I also got the chance to talk with the new head coach, Jed O'Connor, after the game, and he talked about what they can do to improve going forward.
We had a number of individual breakdowns, which is a good thing because we can easily improve them with focus and concentration. But I think now if we can just work on finding the back of the net a little bit more, playing more consistently, but number one, keeping the ball. I think we gave the ball away far too easy, far too often, which means we're sprinting back to defend.
Seth Carpenter, Trojan Sports Now.
And things didn't get much better in their follow-up on that Sunday in Gainesville against the number 7 Florida Gators. Troy became Gator bait in their first road match of the season, falling 5-0 against the nationally ranked Gator squad. The Gators tallied multiple shots on goal in the match, while Troy was only able to muster just one.
The Trojans finally got their first win under head coach Jed O'Connor on the 22nd in the capital city. O'Connor and the Trojan squad took down the Alabama State Hornets 2-0. The Trojans and the Hornets were both held scoreless through the first 45 minutes of the game. However, it was a different story in the second half as Haley Robertson settled the ball on the right wing and passed it to Carly Stone, who found the back of the net. And in the 59th minute, Julia Winter also found the net with a diving head goal.
And the team was looking for their first win at home Friday against the Racers of Murray State. However, it looks as if the Trojans will still be looking for that first W. Seth Carpenter has the highlights from the game.
Troy took on Murray State this past Friday night in another game that came down to the end. This game was held scoreless in the first half, with neither team being able to capitalize on their chances. But that changed when early into the second half, Maya Wofford of Murray State opened up the scoring with a little chip shot over the keeper in the 51st minute. It didn't take Troy long to answer back, however. Haley Robinson had the excellent cross to Julia Winter, where she finished it off with a header right over the keeper in the 54th minute. But yet again, Murray State took the lead with a goal in the 78th minute, coming off the foot of Harriet Withers to take a 2-1 lead. And that's where the score would stay for the remainder of the match, as the Racers of Murray State beat Troy to the finish line. Coach Jed O'Connor also had this to say about his team's performance after the game.
We just didn't put into action the game plan that we wanted. We wanted to possess the ball a little bit better than what we did. But, you know, I think in fairness to Murray State, they did a good job of shutting us down in the middle. But then came out the second half, and I think we were much better, a little bit more lively and attacking. We changed a few things. But then, obviously, silly goal to give away. Well, both goals we're pretty disappointed in, to be honest. But yeah, great rising header, and 2 games, 2 headers for the smallest player on the pitch for Julia to get us back in it. But I think that shows our fighting spirit that we're not going to give up.
Coach Jed O'Connor also talked about how they are going to recover with playing so many games in such a small amount of time.
Now we just rest up, we ice bath, we foam, we stretch and all that, and hopefully they get healed up and ready to go again on Sunday. And then finally, I think after that's been a difficult opening to the season, we should be able to hopefully maybe give them 1 or 2 full days off, nothing, no meetings or anything, let them just chill, and then we'll go again from there later next week.
Seth Carpenter, Trojan Sports Now.
However, the Trojans seem to be doing a little better on the road as they had a stellar performance against Jackson State Sunday afternoon. The Trojans dominated the Tigers with a 9-0 victory at the JSU Soccer Complex. Troy got goals from 8 different players, with Allison Watkins scoring twice, while 24 players saw action. The Trojans tallied 37 shots in the match, which is tied for 6th most in program history. Kate Lorenz opened the scoring in the 11th minute, while Troy went on to land 4 more goals in the first half alone.
I think it helps to give them a little bit of confidence. We've struggled in front of goal a little bit, and so to finally be able to put the ball in the back of the net and see all the different opportunities that we had, it was a good day for the girls.
For her efforts, Julia Winter was named the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Week. She scored 3 goals and had 1 assist. And the Trojan volleyball team opened up their season at the Gamecock Invitational in Columbia, South Carolina. And the first opponent in the Josh Lauer era was North Florida. The Trojans fell 3-2 in the first game of the Invitational. Trojans fell behind in set 1, but were able to bounce back to take 2 in a row until the Osprey Sports a 5th set. However, North Florida would win the set. Sophomore Savannah Moore posted 3 timely blocks, and Belle Waldrop had 5 kills as Troy started to find their rhythm and even things up in set 2.
Then Troy lost their second match in the tournament 3-0 to the host South Carolina Gamecocks. Troy took early leads in all 3 sets, but couldn't hold on to losing straight sets to the Gamecocks.
The Trojans went 0-3 in the Gamecock Invitational with a loss to Mercer in their final match. Troy fell to the Bears 3-1 to close out the tournament. Troy's lone victory came in the second set, winning 25-20.
And after going 0-3 in the Gamecock Invitational, the Trojans traveled to Georgia to take on Kennesaw State on Sunday. Troy fell to the Owls 3-1 Sunday afternoon at the KSU Convocation Center. Troy was only able to grab a victory in the first set as KSU swept the remaining 3 sets to grab their first win of the season. Troy falls to 0-4 for the season and will look to rebound this weekend in their home opener.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great growth weekend. We knew it was a challenging weekend, and we made the girls aware of that. But, you know, I mean, they came out and they battled hard. You know, there's things below the level that, you know, if you're not kind of into the volleyball world, you're not going to see just from a win or a loss. But we scored a lot of points this weekend. We actually outscored our opponents through the South Carolina tournament and played really well against Kennesaw, who was a defending, you know, conference champion. But all those teams played great, and they really challenged us. And I think that our girls handled that pressure against good teams right out of the gate pretty well.
Still to come on Trojan Sports Now, we'll have a preview of the Trojan football's first game of the season at Boise State.
But first, Sarah sat down with soccer's new head coach. Stick around for more Trojan Sports Now.